Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I welcome you all in my class. So today, second year, we are going to start our unit number 3, and the name is Duty and Responsibility. The unit contains 3 readings. Number 1, lesson from the Battle of Uhud, that is a historical event, no doubt Islamic historical event. Then there is a story, that is Lincoln George, and a poem If. As the name shows that this is about the duties and the responsibility, so definitely we will come to know that what are the characteristics of both these words, duty and responsibility. So let's start from reading selection 3.1, lesson from Battle of Uhud. So it's not only an historical event, but what is the name of the lesson? That is the lesson from Battle of Uhud. As you all know it very well that what is the significance of the Battle of Uhud, and what is the lesson that what was the lesson that Muslim learned from that event. So before we are going to start with our lesson, this is we have shared the image, the Battle of Uhud, the place where it took place. Lesson from Battle of Uhud is an historical event. You must have read about the Battle of Uhud, the second battle between the followers of the Holy Prophet and Ahle Quraysh. So number one thing that you must remember, that this was the second military encounter between the Muslims and the Ahle Quraysh. What do you think is the lesson referred to in this essay? So we must know that why there is a name, why it is written lesson from the Battle of Uhud. Definitely there will be some significant point that we are going to discuss. There is something there is some lesson that that historical event has taught us, and it is going to be applicable till now. We'll explore the thing as we go on. Reason for the battle. First of all, you must know that why this battle was fought. Defeated Badr intensified the hatred and enmity of Quraysh. As you all know that the Battle of Badr, that was in the second of Hijrah, the pagans of Makkah attacked on Muslim of Medina. This battle was fought at a place named Badr. The Battle of Badr, that was fought, that was the first battle between Muslims, and then it was between the Muslims and the pagans of Mecca. So it was fought in a place that is called Badr. The Holy Quran has declared it as a decisive fight between truth and falsehood. So what is the importance? Battle of defeat at Badr intensified the hatred and enmity of Quraysh. Why it is so? Because on the one hand it was a historical, you can say, a success. On the other hand, it is cherished. It is just the victory or the success is triumph in the way that in Quran Pak, in the Holy Quran, we have come to know that it is declared as a Yawmul Furqan. Okay, it was the day which distinguished the truth from falsehood. The Battle of Uhud had a great effect that unbelievers in Makkah and the Muslims at Medina, when they fought for the reasons, the reason was that to distinguish between truth and the falsehood. As the Islam was getting popularity, so it just proved, it inspired people, it inspired and encouraged Muslims to have a better place and a superior place by the victory in Badr for future. Okay, so it proved, the Battle of Badr, it proved to be a turning point as the position of Muslims became more strong. It was visible their faith and trust for Islam and the belief in Allah's Almighty, that proved on the way that in that way that their belief became more strong. On the other hand, this battle declared that Allah doesn't never let his believer alone. Right? So what was the importance of Battle of Badr? That number one, that it was the first military encounter between Muslims and the non-Muslims. On the other hand, as Muslim fought bravely, so they just made their position clear, and they got the inspiration, and they got the courage, and in fact they were encouraged to have a better place. Their belief that was more it was no more solid, and they got this view that no, they are in a better position. The supreme force of Allah Almighty that became visible on everyone. And on the other hand, as far as the Quraysh were concerned, the strength of the Quraysh that was questionable at that moment. Their prominent leader that were killed and wounded, and it was in fact that battle was in fact a death blow to their power and prestige, to the death blow towards the Quraysh. Okay, so as some of the tribes of Medina, they accepted Islam, and some came in alliance with the Holy Prophet. Muslim gained much power in Arabia, and the Holy Prophet emerged as a great military commander. So why we are saying that defeat at Badr intensified the hatred and enmity of Quraysh? It was not only a simple military success, it has many consequences, and it has a great impact on Islamic history, and it just proved to be a milestone to spread the Islam. So the first point is clear to you people, that why the Battle of Uhud was fought. It was fought as those non-Muslim, they were defeated at Badr in a very bad way. It was a death blow to their popularity and prestige. So that's why they were planning something to make Muslims, to let down Muslims in the battlefield. They wanted to regain their lost prestige. So I have made it very clear why I have focused more on the background of Battle of Badr, because they wanted to regain their lost prestige. As I have quoted it very well, that not only in the Holy Quran, it has been the Battle of Badr has been termed as Yawm al-Furqan, but also our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got the popularity as a great military commander. On the other hand, the Quraysh that were degraded, they were disregarded, and many of their prominent leaders, they were killed and wounded, and their power and prestige that become a matter of you can say uncertainty. So that was all these things that just made the Quraysh furious to regain their lost prestige. Rise of Medina was a threat to their political and commercial interests. Okay, as the Muslims were moving in a very better way towards the spread of Islam, on the other hand, they were getting a better position to prosper, and they were getting in a better position economically as well. So the Islam was spreading in a better way. On the other hand, the condition of the Muslim that was getting better. So it was a threat to the other people, that rather the rise of the Muslims, it is going to be you can say a threat towards the other, as the defeated Badr enhanced the threat to the trade of Makkah with Syria. Okay, so when we are saying that it was a threat to the political and commercial interests, so why it was? Because the defeated Badr enhanced the threat to the trade of Makkah with Syria. So the businessman community of Makkah announced to finance the war against the Muslims. Okay, so the Jews and the hypocrites of Medina also played a vital role to instigate the pagans against the Muslims. What was the background? The background was this, that they wanted to rise of Medina was a threat to the political and commercial interests. Why? Because the defeated Badr enhanced the threat to the trade of Makkah with Syria. On the other hand, so the business community of Makkah announced to finance the war against the Muslims. So the Jews and the hypocrites of Medina also played a vital role to instigate the pagans against the Muslims. That was the background why this battle was fought. They wanted to take revenge because they had lost their family members at Badr. They had invested their profit at war. The important leader was killed at Badr. Okay, so I have talked in detail about this thing, the reason for the battle. We just come to know that this was in fact fought in order to take revenge of the defeat at Badr. So why then the second point I make it clear to you people why the battle of Badr was fought. It was made clear the victory was not so bearable by the non-Muslims, and the rise of the Muslims in terms of political and commercial terms of the political and economic condition, it was not acceptable. So this was the background why this battle was fought. Introduction of the Battle of Uhud. Now we are coming towards the lesson. The Battle of Uhud was fought on Saturday 22nd December 2624 in the Islamic calendar at Mount Uhud. The Battle of Uhud was the second military encounter between the Makkans and the Muslim. In the Battle of Badr in 624, a small Muslim army had defeated the large Meccan army. Okay, so it became very much clear that this was, as we have said, that the Battle of Badr, it just make the clear truth from falsehood. So once the ways of falsehood and the truth are clear, so definitely the people there, they were just having hatred against Muslims. So the battle of, what are the key points when the Battle of Uhud was fought? It was fought in on 22nd December, okay, 624 Hijri, and on the other hand, it was the second military encounter between the Meccan and the Muslims. And the third one is this, that in the Battle of Badr in 624, a small Muslim army had defeated the large Meccan army. So there are the basic details that you must know that are related with the Battle of Uhud. 3 Hijri, Saturday 7 Shawwal 624 CE. Muslim, and who are the participants? That are Muslim and Quraysh. Leader, who was the leader, our prominent leader, our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And from Quraysh there was Abu Sufyan. And the strength, what was the strength of the Muslim? That was 700 in number, Quraysh 3000 in numbers. Place Uhud, a hill residing 3 miles to the north of Medina. The location has been shared with you earlier. Okay, so this was some basic points, some basic details that are related with the Battle of Uhud. Okay, I gave you the background, and then we are coming towards our main topic, that is the Battle of Uhud. So what is the importance of this battle? We have come to know about the background, that why did it occur. Now we are coming towards what is the importance of this battle. It offered a lot to the Muslim to learn from their mistakes. Okay, as we will be exploring the pages, as we will be going through with the events, we'll come to know that Muslims have learned a lot from that defeat. We cannot say defeat, but it was withdrawn. From that withdrawn, and they learned a lesson. What was that lesson? Even it is applicable till now. It is so practical. Muslim got cautious and fought well till the end. It gave the lesson. What is the lesson? It gave the lesson that the instructions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam must never be neglected. So this was not only for that historical event, but it is, as Allah has to prove, as Muslims have to learn from their mistake, that once they didn't listen the commands of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so they have to face the consequences. So this thing is even why it is necessary to learn and know about this event, because we even today have to see practically that what we are doing, are we following the teaching of our holy prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or not. If we are not if following those teachings, so what would be the consequences? Muslims came to know about the real face of hypocrites of Medina of that time. In the text it is will come to know that how Muslims were being, you can say how the Muslims were being they were given a throwback, as there were many people those wanted to join the battle, but once the battle was announced, 100 of the people withdrawn. So that was that among their ranks there were people, those were hypocrites. Muslim learned the importance of strategic planning in the field of battle, and on the other hand, as a great military commander, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has shown his skills in the battlefield by winning the battle of Badr. But here just they have to learn, Muslim have to learn the importance of this strategic planning in the field of battle, as Islam is not only related with the preaching and sayings, but being a Muslim, we have to go practically with the other things as well. So lesson from the battle of Uhud, let's start with that. So let's start with the introduction. Reason for the battle, it has been discussed in very detail that what were the reason for the battle. We have to keep in mind the context, the reference towards the battle of Badr. Okay, so it is very important that you must know that what was the reason behind the battle of Uhud, and it has been shared in detail, as the battle of Badr was the first battle between the Muslims and the Quraysh fought in 2 Hijri. In this battle, the Muslim got victory over the Quraysh. 70 warriors of Quraysh were killed by the hands of the Muslim. The Quraysh were burning over the crushing defeat in the battle of Badr, and they wanted to take revenge from the Muslims. So they launched a war against the Muslim, which was fought at the place of Uhud. Okay, so this was the battle of Uhud was the second military encounter. Consultation with companions, there is another important point, that it just teaches us that even being a commander, it doesn't mean that you have got all the authority to say about all the things. With the notion of ijma has been explored here as well, that being the leader, and when some matters or there is some important matter in the life, in the political life, in the family life, in the social life, you may take the opinion from the others. Then a consultation with the companion, that is very important. Distinguish hypocrites. I mean, those were many people that were added in the rank of the Muslims, but once the battle was announced, they just withdrew. Consequences of disobedience, and the very important thing that in the lesson that was learned from the battle of Uhud, that the disobedience, consequence of disobedience, as we'll be going through the text, we'll come to know that our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam just gave some instruction to the group that were assigned the duty on the hillside or hilltop, but they didn't follow those instructions. And when they didn't follow the instruction of their leader, their military commander, or their above all Prophet, so what were the consequences they had to face? Okay, so the loss in Uhud made it clear the Muslim that the victory was not by right. Okay, so it was made clear by Allah as well, that once you want to achieve something, it's not your right to achieve. You have to do the effort, you have to follow some instruction. So what we are saying, that the victory, the loss that they just had, it meant that what they earned, who earned the Muslim, it made Muslims clear that victory was not there by right. In the same thing, that they had to earn things. Okay, and what they have to earn, they have to earn things from the teamwork and by obeying the commands of their leader. So it is applicable not for one task, for one field, but it is applicable for every field, that if you want to earn something, you have to work as a team, and if you want to do something, you are under the command of someone, so you have to obey the leader. It also made clear that what it made clear that there was another point, that greed for wealth would lead the Muslim to the destruction, as jihad is not meant to get booty, I mean male ganimat. It is not meant to get all those things, but it is to be fought with the supreme cause, that is the protection and progress of Islam. Okay, so what is that consequences, what is that what the lesson we have learned, that the one we made many things clear, that very important thing, the very important point, that as Muslims, as far as the essence and the spirit of jihad is concerned, it is not meant to get the booty or the wealth, but you have to fight for a supreme cause, for the protection and the progress of Islam. Okay, so Muslims are given the lesson, that they would fight and live as a united team under their leader once for all, in any of the era of the time. Consequences after disobedience, we have come to know. Disbelievers how did they tricked when they just withdrew, and attack on Muslims leader again, as they were just burning with the fire of revenge, Muslim non-Muslims, so they attack on Muslim leaders. It has very negative effect on Muslim, you can say, unity as well, that in the victory by the victory of Battle of Badr, there were many tribes that came into they came into the alliance with Muslims, but as far as the negative effect of loss in Uhud was concerned, many tribes who became allies of the Muslims after the Badr became rebellion, and they just withdrew. Okay, so they do not want to go more with Muslims. A disbeliever, fear of courage, alert for future attack, learn the lesson from the battle. Okay, so the disbelievers, they just got the courage that the Muslims can be trapped and they can be snared by anything, but definitely the thing didn't go so long. Muslims just gathered, composed themselves very quickly, and they just got these all things in their mind, and they remain cautious all the time, that what the lesson and what the instruction they have to follow. So let's start with the lesson. We have done a lot with the background, so let me read the text for you. The battle was Uhud was an extension of the Battle of Badr, as I have told you people in very early of the lesson, that what was the consequences of how the Battle of Badr was fought, and what was the background. In the same way, it was an extension, it was the outcome, you may say, or it was the continuity of the Battle of Badr. Smarting under the ignominy of their defeat, as the defeated by the Quraysh of Makkah assembled a large army of 3,000 persons and marched to Medina to avenge their earlier defeat. So we have talked that as they were burning with the fire of revenge, they just collected 3,000 people. They were just burning with the disgrace, with the shame that their leaders and their prominent leaders had been killed in the Battle of Badr. They just gathered thousands of the people and marched to Medina to avenge their earlier defeat. Okay, so the army of Quraysh was composed of 3,000 persons, included every adult. The force was led by Abu Sufyan, which include every adult from the Quraysh. Every adult means from every young person. The force was fully equipped with war weapons and accompanied by a considerable number of women who sang songs to inspire the warriors. So here the role of that army that was composed of 300,000 person include every adult that marched to Medina to avenge their crushing defeat which they met in the Battle of Badr. The warriors were fully equipped with war weapons and led by Abu Sufyan. They were also accompanied by a number of women who sang songs to inspire the warriors. So what was the reason that as you have seen many historical dramas or something like that, when the warriors they were sent to the war or in the battlefield, they were being encouraged by some songs or by some verses or by just praising them in that way that they have to become successful, they have to come as a successful person afterwards. And Handa, we have come to know, she accompanied as well there with the troops. The Quraysh were confident that this time they would win and teach Muslims a lesson that they are in a better position, a lesson that they are the supreme and the superpowers over the Muslims, and this was their purpose. These are the difficult words, meaning when the Holy Prophet Muhammad came to know of intentions of Quraysh of Makkah, they held council of war. So he just gathered all the people, and when he just came to know that the troops are marching towards the troop of the Quraysh of Makkah, they are marching towards them. He was personally of the opinion that in view of the strength of the enemy, the proper course of the Muslim was to remain in Medina and let the enemy besiege the city. So what was his opinion? His opinion was that as the army is more in numbers, so let the opponents come and let the enemy besiege the city, let the enemy surround the city with military force to encircle the city. Okay, what was the reason behind that? Rather, so in that way, when they would be encircling the city, definitely the force of the enemy would be divided. The idea was that if the enemy besieged the city, force would have to be dispersed in the number of sectors, and the Muslim could strike a blow at the enemy where the enemy concentration was the weakest. So what was our Prophet plan? Our Prophet plan was, military plan was, that strategy was that he thought of allowing the enemy to besiege Medina, but which was a proper strategy. The Holy Prophet knew that the Muslim strength was far shorter as compared to the enemy, and so if their enemy is going to encircle the city of Medina, its force would be deployed at different places around the city, and the Muslim could easily attack the enemy at a place where the enemy's concentration was the weakest, where they have the weakest points, where there the Muslim might get the chance to easily strike a blow on the enemy. It was really the correct one. So when we say that our Prophet as a great military leader, this was the strategy that he was having in his mind. The younger elements among the Muslims, however, insisted that the battle should be fought in the open at some distance away from Medina. So the younger that they had a different opinion. There came another opinion. The wise one were in the favor to stay in Medina and wanted to let the enemy approach Medina. However, the other opinion that by the young ones that they were enthusiastic and they want to confront enemy in the open field at some distance away from Medina. Okay, so here in the previous page, in the previous paragraph and this paragraph, we have come to know a different opinion. What was that different opinion? That the younger ones wanted to just have the open battle. Their argument was the enemy shouldn't be allowed to approach Medina at any cost, though the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ believed that the defensive strategy that proposed by him was the best in circumstances, yet in the deference to the enthusiasm, yet in the regard to the enthusiasm of the young men to keep the enemy away from Medina, he agreed to meet the enemy in the open outside Medina. So here we have learned two things. Number one thing is this, that being young, being enthusiastic doesn't mean that you are all the time wise. Okay, so here on the second thing is this, that our holy prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam even gave the deference, submission, even gave respect and regard to the opinion of the young ones as well. Okay, so and the third thing that we came to know, that there were the two opinions regarding the facing the army of Quraysh. Okay, number one opinion, that was the plan, that was a strategy that was devised by our holy prophet. On the other hand, the second opinion, the second plan that has been presented by the young people, those wanted those, what do they want to have? They want to confront the enemy in the open at some distance away from Medina. Okay, so let's see what is going to happen last. The Muslim could assemble a force of 1000. So it was decided regarding the defensive strategy. The holy prophet believed that he was right. His idea of staying at Medina was best one, but seeing the enthusiasm of the young men to keep the enemy away from Medina, he finally decided to confront the enemy in open field. And in fact, he just gave the he just listened those young enthusiastic person. So the Muslim could assemble a force of 1000 persons only. When the Holy Prophet Muhammad gave the order for the march to the battlefield, 300 hypocrites, munafiqeen, led by Abdullah bin Ubay, withdraw and went their homes. Okay, so when we say that they distinguished between hypocrites and the true faces, how it distinguished that? It came very much evident that who is going to be all the time along with or in the side of the Muslims. So 300 of the people led by Abdullah bin Ubay, that they withdrew. The Holy Prophet was thus left with 700 person only, and this was 1/4 of the strength of the enemy. So this was all for today. We have shared the difficult word meaning with you as well. I hope so the things became very much clear. So what you have to do, you have to just please write down all the important points that has been discussed with you in the start of the lesson, as I have told you the reason behind the battle of Uhud in detail, and I have told you the significance of battle of Badr as well. So you are going to write it, and you are going to see the things and the events in the context of the battle of Badr, and the battle of Uhud is the continuity of that thing. Okay, write down all the important points, and inshallah ta'ala will be continuing with our lesson. Take good care of you. See you inshallah on with next lecture. Allah Hafiz.